Rather than United are in a bad way, and we all know this, and it's time to try and look at some solutions. Amidst the cost cutting that's happened at United, we've seen Christopher Vivell arrive at the club initially as interim director of recruitment, marking one of the most significant steps in the club's ongoing effort to overhaul its recruitment strategy. Yesterday, that kind of got ratified as the new permanent one, and well, let's look into why, and let's look into his track record and perhaps what he might be bringing to this role. Now, Vivell has got a proven track record, bringing a wealth of experience in both talent identification, but also strategic squad planning and navigating multi-club systems. He's done it with RB Salzburg, Leipzig, Hoffenheim, even had a brief stint at Chelsea. His position, as I said, got made permanent yesterday, and there's a big chance that he could be pivotal. In fact, he will be pivotal in turning around United's fortunes. So let's look at how. Now, his role at United will be multifaceted. His primary focus should be on revamping the club's approach to recruitment. Reports say that he's impressed Jim Radcliffe so far, and he's now looking at a long-term role where he's going to be in charge of recruitment. Up to now, he's just been acting as an interim director of recruitment since the summer. But United have obviously been impressed, and that's why he's sticking around long-term. Now, seeing as Dan Ashworth was ousted from club operations, it did leave a slot open for somebody that Ineos trust, and Vivell seems like he's been that guy. Obviously, he's going to continue to work alongside Wilcox, alongside Barada, and Brailsford, who is the Ineos representative on the board. Now, United's 24-25 season is, let me think of a word for this, not going to plan. That's fair, isn't it? What little hope we've got in the cup competitions almost seems pointless with the injuries to the key players that we've got. Our form has been consistently bad, and our form has been pretty bad for a good few years, I think it's safe to say. But with what's left of the season remaining, I don't think you're going to see it turned around. I think it's almost a case of try and minimise the shit show between now and summer, and then get stuck into turning the squad around. Now, I hope he's already started work on this. I hope he's already got things in place, players coming, people that work. You know, Dorgu seems to have started quite well. Let's see where we can take it from there. But here's the things that he's going to have to do. Number one, create a long-term vision that matches with short-term impact. Now, we're experimenting at the moment, and we're experiencing a little bit of a hangover from the many managers that came before Ruben Amorim. This is the camel of squads. You know, the squad built by committee, the squad built by many men. It's not in one person's image, it's all over the show. You know, lots of eras from, you know, not just managers, but also different directors have all had a hand in the absolute bucket that we see as a squad at the moment. So there's no sort of vision that lines itself right throughout the squad. He needs to get a squad that has got a long-term vision, something that's got cohesion, not just in terms of its playing style, but also in the dressing room. A long-term vision that hopefully has at least a little bit of short-term impact. And that's a tough part, probably the toughest part of the job, finding players that not just align with Amorim's vision, even though that'll be hopefully a relatively easy win, but players that align with his and the club's vision as well. And you'll start to notice the difference straight away when you start to see people that are coming in as part of a long-term plan. Dorgu clearly was one of those. He's more of an athlete than we've seen at the club previously, someone more capable of fulfilling the kind of role that Amorim's going to ask of him, and I expect to see more players like that signed. He also kind of fits what we've heard Ineos want in terms of a player. Young, first couple of contracts, got a potential high ceiling, and also got a sell-on value should it go west. So Dorgu fits a lot of those bills from an Ineos point of view, but he also fits the sort of athletic build that we're looking for to try and raise the athletic floor of the ceiling, of the team, sorry. You've got to correct past recruitment failures. So, you know, taking risks has been a bit of a key theme of the many transfer failures post-Fergie. We've gone with the shiny things, or we've gone with reactive rather than proactive. We've signed a lot of young players, put pressure on them straight away. And the Varane interview was quite telling, where you didn't know whose responsibility was, whose. There wasn't an established hierarchy within the dressing room. There wasn't the expectation that young lads are going to come in and learn, be in the team, out of the team. Whereas Real Madrid, you felt very safe and very secure, and you had all of that sort of around you, and there wouldn't be too much placed on youngsters. It's the opposite at Manchester United. You're just slung in and told sink or swim, figure it out. When we sign young players and we put all the pressure on them from the off, it isn't helping them, especially when you spend massive, massive money on them. And when we've put money into the likes of Anthony, Sancho, Casemiro, it's put us in massive trouble financially. We've got to be smarter with those. Vivell's going to have an approach to signing talent that looks at value, but also looks at people who've got the right stuff. There's obviously no consistent framework in the recruitment at Manchester United like there is at places like Madrid. And, going back to that interview that Varane said, you didn't know who was to blame if something happened, because there was that many people who kind of had a bit of an opinion on stuff, but no one really took ownership of anything. That's got to change, man. Number 3, revive the squad morale and the depth. Morale sounds like something that can only be influenced by play on the pitch, but I don't think it is. Seeing players of a high caliber come in can really breed confidence in a squad. You hear all the time about Robin van Persie's first training session. People are going, oh my God, look at him. You create depth in terms of the numbers. You create quality or bring in quality. It can take the pressure off some of the United's overworked players. And suddenly a few injuries don't feel like they're the end of the world. We've managed to ride out quite a few defensive injuries because we've got some decent numbers and decent quality in defence. We just don't have that across the pitch. Number 4, find financial sustainability. Our finances are a mess. Now, we all know why. It's the Glazers. And I don't know if that's going to change in the near future, to be honest. So Vivell's going to have to work with that. He's going to have to be tactical. He's going to have to be astute with the signings. He's going to have to find some hidden gems. And he's going to have to pull some rabbits out of hats. It's as simple as that. Finding financial sustainability and identifying positions that are in most need will really, really help. Replacing the highest earners, not just for cheap people, but for people that are on a lot less, with a lot less expectations, is going to really help fix the financial issues. And he's going to be able to work with a much bigger war chest if he can get rid of some of those low-value, high earners out of the squad and moved on quickly. Now, he isn't a magician. His impact hinges on several factors, including Amorim's adaptation to the Premier League, the integration of the new signings, the willingness of Ineos to empower him fully, unlike the trouble that he had at Chelsea. Recruitment is a little bit of a cursed role at Manchester United. I don't think it's been done to a high standard by anybody that's had it. You have the expectation that you're going to sign the best players in the world, but you have the tools and the finances to sign utility players at best. I think it's all about strategy. I think it's all about building a squad to last the test of time. And instead of falling at the first hurdle of expectation or just going for the biggest name or the biggest shiny thing, Vivell really could be the architect of a recruitment revolution. But it's all about blending immediate required squad upgrades and sustainable planning, a bit of a pipeline for success in the future. If he secures, like it sounds like he has, the permanent long-term contract at United, he's going to have to hit the ground running from day one, because this summer is absolutely massive. If Ruben Amorim doesn't get the tools he's requiring to take the squad forward, he'll be out of a job. You'll be looking for a new manager, and then you're going to start this whole shit show all over again. This summer is absolutely massive. And even though I think we can satisfy PSR, I don't know if we've got the money in the bank to actually go out there and do a madness, looking at the way we're cutting costs across the board. It's worrying. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment below. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.